We're talking Bruins from last night, 3-2 overtime loss in Edmonton to close out the trip. And it does end up being a disappointing one. You know, we had Matt Barry from the Bruins Benders podcast on yesterday, and we both agreed that, hey, you know, even if you lose this one tight, at least show that you can hang with a good team to end this trip, you know, because it's a scheduled loss, right? You're playing Edmonton, a team that went to the finals last year. They got the best player on the planet and the league's leading goal scorer. Those are two different people. And it's the end of the Western Canada trip, 5-game stretch. You just played overtime the other night. You're supposed to be gassed going into this one. And the Bruins score on like their first shot of the game. Stuart Skinner stinks. It's amazing the talent they have around him that this guy got to the Stanley Cup final. He lets one go. I mean, Lindholm lets one go from the boards, like the side of the faceoff dot. And he just throws it at the net. Skinner has no angle. Skinner sees it the whole way and just lets it go in. It's incredible. Then Kastelik scores. It's 2-0 at the end of the first period. And you're like, okay, the Bruins are actually going to have the best case scenario end of this trip. They're going to win in Edmonton, have a winning road trip, going back to Boston with arguably their best wins of the year, finally beating a really good team. Not to be. Edmonton cuts it to 2-1 in the second with Zach Hyman. And then they're up 2-1 with 3 minutes left. And of course, the Bruins lose in overtime. And look, let me just preface this by saying this. Is it the worst loss in the world? No. Again, you know, a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, probably last week, that team would have got their ass kicked in the third period against a good team on the road. You know, we saw it with Winnipeg. We saw it with Seattle. They got crushed in those games, and they gave up. They showed some real fight in Calgary, and they showed fight last night. They should have won that game. That doesn't change that, but it's not the worst case scenario that you lose in overtime to a team as good as Edmonton when Connor McDavid is scoring the game-tying goal. But there is one thing in common with these two goals. And Zach, if we could pull them up, keep us on the screen so that I can talk through them. And basically, let's go back to back here. Can we do that? Can we?
Yeah, I can. Give me one way. I have to bring them in a different way. So you want
okay.
No, that's fine. I can just do it. You want the game tying one first then?
Yes.
So bear with me just 1 second.
No problem.
Him off the boards and a good play by Pastrnak
Pastrnak does not clear it up the ice, does not ensure a clear, tries to make a play for himself, turns it over on a change. Edmonton ties the game. Like, that's so frustrating, man. Pastrnak, he just bangs that off the boards. It's down for a clear, and you get a real line change. Instead, Pastrnak, although tired, is like, I'm going to try and play this to myself because maybe I can get a one-on-one going into the offensive zone. And then he doesn't and still tries to change. That's a shit change. It's really not a good change all the way around. And it leads directly to the best hockey player on the planet coming with a head of steam into your zone and tying the game. So let's see if there's anything that carries over from that goal into the overtime winner, which also had Connor McDavid on the ice. Can we roll that one? All right, Pastrnak tries the shot. It's clearly gassed. Shit change again. Absolute dog shit change. Brad Marchand skate by. No idea what he's doing there. And it leads to Edmonton's game-winning goal. So what were the two things in common? David Pastrnak, dog shit changes. That leads to the tying and winning goals just like that. So yeah, it's frustrating. It's a scheduled loss. These guys are clearly gassed. But it's got to be better than that. I'm sorry. It's got to be better than that. And I don't think Pastrnak had a great game against Calgary, gave the puck away a ton, and he scores the game-winning goal. And then you say, well, that's what he's paid for. And, you know, the next game, two dog shit changes at the end of the game. So either he's hurt or they're playing him too much or he's just not putting in enough effort. And that was not a good enough effort. by the Bruins and one of their alternate captains and the best player on their team. The best player for Edmonton takes advantage of that. He scores the game tire and is in on the play for the game winner. So that's the difference there. And obviously, no one is arguing that Pastrnak is or should be a better player than Connor McDavid, but it just kind of goes to show you what one star player can do and what the other star player can't do right now.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter here for some more outrageous Boston sports takes coming to you every weekday at noon Eastern time. And then after that, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.